Okay, I think we have it working. Good morning. I apologize. Appreciate your patience. Technical difficulties. Everything was looking good. I hit go live and we lost our connection and it was having trouble reconnecting. I think we're connected now. I think we are riding the internet wave right now. I'm getting the signal that the live stream is up and running, operational. I apologize. I'll try to make this a little briefer, more brief, in case you were working it into your day and have somewhere to get to. Creating space. So, creating space in the body and the mind. That's on tap for today. I'm Les Raymond with the Mindful Movement, and thank you for joining me today for my morning practice. We're going to finish seated, so if you need any block or cushion to sit comfortably at the end of the practice, then now's your chance to grab it. We're going to go through very slowly today and focus on creating space within the body with our breath from various postures in hopes that when we sit and finish, we could allow that to kind of creep into the mind and create space in our mind and have a nice open, spacious sense to start our day with. I find that these things can carry over to how you hold yourself, whether it be your posture or your thoughts throughout the day. So opening the body, opening the mind might allow you to be a little bit more open in your relationships throughout the day, or open in the way that you choose to look at things that come your way. All right, we're going to start laying on our belly. And with one hand on the other hand, just resting your head, your forehead, or your temple on your hands. And we're going to start by trying to create space with our breath in our low back here. So we have the weight of the body kind of smushing your belly on the floor. And with your inhale, think of filling up the low back first. Just expanding on the inhale. And letting go on the exhale. Now, as you continue, allow the sense of space to move outward in all directions. So from the low back, expanding the belly out to the sides. A few more breaths here. Letting the breath expand into the ribs, feeling the back of your ribs expanding away from each other. Maybe you could think of gently pushing your breath into the back of the ribs. Opening up. Let's do one more breath cycle here. And relax. Okay, flipping over to your back. This is a very subtle one here. Going to take the left arm. With your feet flat on the ground, about shoulder width apart, and the knees bent. Your left arm on the ground, not straight out to the side, not overhead, but think of off on about a 45-degree angle with the palm up. And notice the shoulder blade on the ground. And just take a moment and connect with the arm being heavy on the ground and staying there. So we're going to let our knees gently fall to the right and make sure that the arm is staying heavy on the ground, the shoulder blades relaxed on the ground. So there's just a really gentle elongation here from the left shoulder to the right hip. And holding that nice and, not holding that, but relaxing in that position, letting your knees be heavy, your left arm be heavy. I want you to breathe into this space that you've created. So across the left side of the body, all the way over to the right hip. On your inhale, expand in that space and let go. A few more breaths here like that. Just deliberately driving a little intention into that inhale. Like you have a long balloon from your left armpit all the way down to the bottom of your right belly. Opening it up and let it go. And let's do that on the other side. So the knees can come back to center, the right arm relaxed on the ground, palm up, hand relaxed, arm relaxed, shoulder blade on the ground. The knees gently fall over to the left. Get a sense of this space now from the right arm all the way down to the left hip. And let's open that space up with our breath now. Expanding into those right ribs and letting go. In through the nose, expand. And exhale, relax. One more breath cycle like this. In and relax. And then letting the knees recenter. Go ahead and grab your knees or your shins or your thighs. Give yourself a little hug. A gentle rock side to side. And let's set up for the next position. So we're going to be moving back onto our belly and coming up into prone prop. So the elbows are going to be generally underneath the shoulders. The forearms are fairly parallel lines here. And take a moment here and push your elbows through the floor. Push your hands through the floor. Lifting the head up, creating a sense of length in the spine. So the tailbone and the crown of the head are working actively away from each other, creating space in the front of the body here. And let's move into our breath now, inhaling into that space. With your inhale, almost reinforcing this length of the spine. And it's hard to let go and relax on your exhale in this position. It's a very active position. So don't shy away from the challenge. Just practice. Actively pushing down to the floor as we lengthen, expand. All right, now bringing the eyes to the right, shifting your gaze over your right shoulder, opening the left side of the body. Let's put a couple breaths there in that left side. Expanding that left belly, the left ribs, keeping the head high. And to the left now, eyes to the left, head to the left. See if you can look at your feet behind you. Keeping the head up, pushing actively down through the elbows, through the forearms, through the hands, breathing into the right side. Two more breaths here. Expansion and relax. Balancing relaxation with all this work, holding yourself up here. Very challenging. All right, let's come down, relax for a breath. And let's move to the next position. So we're going to go into quadruped. So the hands are generally under the shoulders, the knees are under the hips, the head is up. All right, we're going to do a little cat-cow here, but instead of moving with our breath, we're going to move into the position and then stay there for a few breaths. So I want you to push your hands through the ground, tuck your tailbone under, let your head come down, and really reach your back to the ceiling very actively. When you get as far as you comfortably can, I want you to breathe into this back space. Breathe into the back of the rib cage, expanding the back ribs away from each other. And relax. Letting the head get softer. Actively pushing through the hands, through the knees. One more breath like this, into the back body. And relax. Coming back to center here. Let you take a little weight off the shoulders, shifting your weight back, maybe lifting your hands up. Shake out your arms if you need. We're going to do the same thing the other direction. So bringing your tailbone up to the ceiling, letting the belly fall, letting the head reach up, the gaze goes up, the eyes look up. Get a sense of pulling your hands towards your knees, but you're using the muscles of the body to do that. So we're pulling the back closed and opening the front of the body here. And now breathe. In that belly, much more challenging. Just staying there. Many of us are used to moving in and out of these positions, which is great. Do it every day. Highly recommend it. But also, you can do this. Holding the position, focusing on the breath. And relax. Let's get the knees a little wider for a comfortable child's pose. That could create a little tension in the back of the body. Let's let that release for a moment. Head on the ground if you'd like. Arms wherever you want them. Breathing in and relax. Think of your breath in this position really going deep into the pelvic floor. So on the inhale, really breathing into the bottom, allowing the balloon to open up with ease. Just clearing any mechanical restrictions. Reinforcing the length of the spine. All right, now the head is going to come up and we're going to walk our hands over to the right now, keeping that fairly wide, that shoulder width, and back into that child's pose, but with a little side bend here. So as we're bent over to the right, the space in the right is closed. The space in the left is open. Let's take advantage of that with our breath. Inhaling into that left side body. And let it go. A couple more. Just getting very long on the left side. Very open. One more breath in. And let it go. And then bringing the head up, coming back for a reset. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, walking your hands over to the left, keeping that nice wide stance of the hands. Letting the head come down, closing that left side, opening the right side. And with your inhale, expanding into that right side. Opening the right rib cage. See if you can connect with the right lung. Rest your attention there. Watch it expand, feel it expand. Create your expansion. One more breath here. Okay, coming back up. All right, we're going to do a gentle twist from this position. I like to do this with a fairly wide knee stance, but you can do it how you want. If you feel like you need some cushion for your knees, you could maybe adjust your mat, double it up if you need, or use a blanket. So from this position here, we're going to take the left hand and just thread it under the right. So palm is going to be up here, bringing the left shoulder to the ground. Couple options here. You could just rest your head on the side of the ground. I like to rest my temple on my right hand here. Now you can intensify the twist by turning your head away if you'd like. So whatever you'd like to do today. But with this position here, let's check back in with our breath. So with our breath here, I want to lengthen the spine with this twisted position. So inhale, getting the crown of the head and the tailbone just slightly farther away from each other. Try not to use a lot of force to do this. Just think of a little bit more of finesse, just a very subtle, nuanced approach. Just working inward, creating little additional like pockets of space, all the little nooks and crannies along the way. And finishing your last breath here. Let's go through that on the other side, coming back to center. And taking the right hand, sliding it under, letting the right shoulder come down to the ground, resting your head on the floor or on your hand, and connecting with the breath again. Twisting one way will generally feel different than twisting the other way. And that's okay. Just be with that experience today. A few more breaths here, just creating space. Space for the spine. Space for an open mind today. Space for maybe new ideas. And coming back to center, opening up the hips a little bit here. We're going to, from that quadruped position, just bring the right hand over towards the left so it's kind of centered. Bringing the right foot next to the right hand, and then if you'd like, you could drop the left knee back a little bit. And from here, just actively push through your hands, bringing the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. So maybe a little pressure in the front of the right hip, a little openness in the front of the left hip, and holding this. See if you could, with intention, use that breath to expand whatever's willing here. Maybe expand the front of that left hip. like you're directing your breath there, and then let it go. Optional here, taking the right hand on the right knee and just pushing outward a little bit. Just prying things open, maybe finding a little more room for your breath to go somewhere. Filling up the belly, filling up the ribs, opening up the space of the body. And let's go through that on the other side. Hand back down. Knee back. Shifting the left hand over towards the right. Bringing the left foot up next to the left hand. Dropping the right knee back if you need. Repositioning this posture so the hands are pushing down. The head is reaching away from the hands. See how this side feels. Go ahead and connect with the breath. Opening the front of that right hip. Maybe breathing into the compression on the front of the left hip too. Optional if you'd like, putting the left hand on the left knee, giving a little lateral pressure there. Just exploring around. This side feels a lot different to me. And coming back to center. Letting that foot work its way back. All right, so what I'd like to do now is set up in a seated position. I'm going to use a block today. You do however you'd like. But if you can, find a way that you could be as upright as possible and still, within your comfort range. So this shouldn't hurt. So whatever props you need to just be upright. All right, let's take a moment and reconnect with this position. So getting a sense of the tailbone, reaching down, maybe rooting through whatever you're sitting on. And then I'm channeling that force that you're pushing down with up through the spine, allowing it to reach the crown of the head as far away from that tailbone as you can. Just getting a sense of what your posture is like today. Okay. Now we're going to go through like a little cat-cow position from here. So we'll do a few moving ones and then we're going to do a pause and a few breaths. So think of with the tailbone first rolling forward, and I like to pull on my knees as I do this for a little leverage. Lifting the chest up, bringing the gaze up. And then I like to push here, tuck the tailbone under. Think of pushing your knees away, not a lot of leverage there. Arching your back the other way, closing the front, opening the back. Just do this a few times. Opening the chest, letting the low back arch, the chest lift, lengthen the front, and then the other way. All right, just feeling those positions. Now we're going to do a little breath practice. Some might know this as like spinal breathing. So we're going to go through those two patterns with our breath. And I find that this breath style can create a good amount of sensation. Sometimes more sensation than folks are ready if they're not used to a structured breath practice. It's going to be an inhale as we arch our back, pulling our elbows back and lifting our chest. And it's going to be an exhale as we tuck our tailbone, reach away. Okay? Now, if the sensation you get from this is too much, just slow down and wait a few seconds and you should kind of recalibrate. But if you like how it feels, then I'm going to give you some time to explore the duration and the intensity. So I recommend, if you're not used to this, starting pretty small, maybe 3 to 8 breaths. If you've done this a few times, 10 breaths is always a sweet spot for me. And if you're very familiar with this, then do your thing. What we're going to do is go through a moment of these breaths. I'm going to demonstrate what it looks like. And then a few moments of just allowing our breath to normalize and see what kind of space we can create and how we feel. Okay? So it's going to look like this. Okay? Now, I recommend all this through the nose. At least the inhale. If you want to exhale through your mouth, if that feels right for you, then by all means, it's your practice, do your thing. But what I do recommend is in and out through the nose. The mouth is going to be closed. The tongue is going to be pressed up on the roof of the mouth. Not pressed, but just placed there. So don't think of pushing your tongue under the roof of the mouth, but just holding it there, resting it there. But there is a connection. There's a relationship there, okay? So I'm going to say go, basically. We're going to practice. I'll do about 8 or 10 breaths, and then we're just going to chill out for a little while. You're going to do as many breaths as feels right for you. All right, getting tall to start. Here we go. When you're ready, letting your breath relax, taking your time to allow your breath to find its natural pace. And just sit with whatever experience you have right now. I sense a lot of energy just rushing through me. There's a subtle intensity to it, and just allow that to be how it is. I feel a pretty strong change in temperature. I even sense behind my closed eyes changing of colors. It's pretty incredible to me how such a short period of that breath could create so much sensation in the body and in the mind. I feel like it's settled down a good bit now. But wow, pretty crazy we can do that. The breath is just a fantastic tool and so handy. We carry it wherever we go. I think I want to do one more. I know we started a little late because of our technical difficulties. So if you have to go, then go and enjoy your day. But for those that want to do one more round of that, maybe play with a different number of breaths, then let's go exploring together here. All right, getting nice and tall. Here we go. Relax. Allow the breath to fall back into its natural rhythm. Allow whatever is emerging in your experience space to emerge. Connecting with the theme today, creating space, just expansion. Allowing yourself to expand. Life is going to throw you many a curveballs, many a challenges. It's important to be able to have space to hold those challenges. The more we could expand the space we have to hold the things that make up our life experience, the easier it's going to be to navigate through them. If our bucket is all filled up with clutter, it's going to be challenging. But if we could expand the bucket, the same amount of clutter won't be as challenging. You can have enough space for it. Okay, you could open your eyes if you haven't yet. Ooh, I went somewhere for a moment there. And, well, thanks for coming with me. Again, I apologize for the technical difficulties in the beginning of this practice, but I feel like I got a great practice in myself. I hope you did too. Ready to start the day. If you can, I guess I would challenge you to maybe reconnect with what you did here this morning throughout your day and notice if it provides an opportunity for you to look at a scenario, a life experience, through the lens of having a little more space for whatever it is. I hope you enjoyed this practice, and if there's something you'd like to share that you got out of it, then I would love to hear, and hopefully in doing so you could help one of the other listeners in the community also. All right, enjoy your day. Bye-bye.